Today is 29th of August, or 28th actually, and Phil just had his 15th year anniversary celebration, or you guys call it, and well, it was terrible. Not only it has really been his worst month ever, but it really has shown that Phil has no idea what to make his content any better. Not only that in games, but how he's acting. This has definitely been Phil's worst month, and this anniversary of which he defies his years as a content creator has shown. So we got a lot to talk about. As I talk about the event, the games, and what it's going to look like for Phil next month, or how he's going to handle other games coming out soon. So sit back and relax, because we got a lot to talk about. So, well, on to the show. And, well, cue the intro.
But if it's your fate, then every step forward will always be a step closer to home.
Hello, I'm MilkyBrox99, and welcome back to another DSP video. I feel like it's been a while from my last one, and I still have a lot of videos I need to start working on in the coming months, but I do kind of want to get to them soon. Maybe. Don't know. But this is August 28th when I record this video, and well, Phil had been trying to make this month have been to celebrate his 15 years. And well, a lot has Phil trying to make changes, or himself, or content, has always been, this year has been trying to do the minimum effort, but doing nothing to make it better. But I'll talk about the first thing Phil tried to do, was to change his wardrobe. So Phil's been buying these shirts. It's safe to say he's been getting them from somewhere, either from Amazon, likely, or from a secondhand store, maybe, but it's hard to say where. But Phil tried to change up his clothes, but you still see the same shirts he wears every day. I mean, I'm not one to judge. I don't really have like a lot of like normal shirts, and given I need to start losing weight, I don't have like a lot of shirts that don't fit me anymore until I start losing some weight again. But at least I can say, hey, I actually have a different wardrobe. I just have a lot of shirts, unfortunately, but all my long sleeve shirts, like a lot of them, they're either don't fit me, or they don't, or, you know, it's not winter where I can wear them. But regardless, his new shirts do look like shirts you wear someone who's basically retired, stuff like that. But given that Phil is still probably wearing sweats or his pajamas, you can barely see Phil at the bottom, or how much Phil likes to say he's getting old. But this has really shown that Phil is trying too hard to make himself look presentable. Eventually he had to get that kind of concept. He had to be told this by a chat, this. But it's safe to say, well, Phil is not making a step to just wear regular clothes. Like, he tries to be a gamer. That's why he has all those empty boxes and toys behind him. He puts shirts behind him to say, I have so obsessed, but he likes to look like someone who has nothing else in his life. And given that we don't know what his house is different from last time we've seen him, besides what is basically, you know, he has all this problems going on, we don't know. But this is definitely Phil's look, is just Phil trying to look professional, but doing a low effort to do so. The next thing Phil tried to have was change his banner on X. Yes, it is X now. I know some people don't like the name, people don't like a lot of changes, but then again, people care way too much about Twitter to a site that they don't care about. What does that tell you? So Phil has his banner, and you really do see how Phil cannot make a more flattering picture of himself. How much they make him look like how he looks like he's not only gotten paler, but he looks more worse for wear. He tries to make it sound like he's grateful to have these 15 years, but these 15 years are just with no success. But this is really saying how much Phil is doing a bad job of making a better picture. It's hard to say the fact that his fans basically made that for him, and given how his fans are, well, it's obvious. But not only that, they made like a trailer of like Phil's 15 years, and it's hard to say if it was a troll or not. We don't know, but so right now we haven't been confirmed on that one yet. We haven't really confirmed on that one, but it is very terrible. I will link to you. I will put in the description. DSP tried the Manji 101, and I think he has it. So I will link you there. But it is very terrible. What else this month? But what else to talk about? Because I got a lot to talk about. It's kind of why this video is going to be pretty long or pretty short, depending if I can't fit in a lot to talk about. So let's go into Phil's games he picked for this to celebrate his anniversary. And this is kind of where I really think Phil's bad at understanding what game people want. So let's kind of flash back to when this whole when he said that he wants to play Chrono Trigger. Okay, he wants to play Chrono Trigger, but that feels such an out of the blue pick out of any game he could have played by now. Now keep in mind, we have not, like, it typically Phil wants to just dodge, doesn't want to play a long RPG because he just went for a long one again. But the problem is, Phil is also just picking games that really no one asked for. So you have a game like this game that is, well, very iconic, like it's very popular, iconic, and well known for the art design of character by Akira Toriyama. And this is a game that Phil said he always wanted to play. The thing is, Phil doesn't want to try to play it on his PC or his laptop. So he decided he was talking about for a while wanting a Steam Deck. And this was like the biggest like scam of like, hey, donate me a Steam Deck. But that so far never came to fruition. We don't know if that is, but then again, I think Phil had been donated some things. Oh yeah, but what? Oh yeah, but it's Phil, so I don't even sure anymore. So he picked it Chrono Trigger, and the thing I still question of like, it's not really a game I would think of celebrating your 15 years. Like, I follow Hellfire Comms. Since I've known Hellfire Comms since I would say 2006, 2007 when I first found them, and here's a game. This is a game I decided to play for the 15th anniversary. It was Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, and it's brought by Hell Dragon. Now, I will go on the record, I don't like Hell Dragon. I don't like his opinions. I think he's too cynical for me, and I really don't find him funny anymore. The days I feel like I was just getting more annoyed of him, and he really is that case of, he's that case of people that really don't like Kingdom Hearts, but they just stay around it because they want to make fun of it. So I'm not watching the parts with Hell Dragon. I'd rather wait for the parts with the post game, because why would I want to watch something listen to someone I don't like? I like Tom. I like the other members of Hellfire. I enjoy their stuff. I want to subscribe and give them money for Patreon. I'm working on that later. I probably have to wait till then. I'm only subscribing like 2 people, so I'm not 100% sure when I want to like subscribe to the Patreon, but I'm gonna wait on that one. Maybe the next year, maybe. I think once I'm done with like convention stuff, once I'm done with because honestly, guess what I have to possibly buy later on the year next year, and that is the collection edition of Final Fantasy, not Final Fantasy, Persona 3 Reload, because that I have to get in the year next year, so that's going to be my main priority outside of getting a new laptop, or reworking an old laptop, but we'll see. But it just doesn't not really an anniversary game. And let's see, like Choco Conroy, I think, is still. I don't think he's done like a big anniversary game that he's doing, but he is making his journey through the generations. So he's finally made it to He made it to Gen 5, I think, last year or so, and now he's raised up to Black 2 and White 2 now. And I think it'll be a while, but he might actually get to Gen 6 soon. I think we don't know. I'd be kind of curious how he does and how he fares. He does a good job at notching like the official names of characters, so it'll be kind of interesting to find out, see what he knows about the official names, because that would be interesting. Like I said, I imagine he has those games, because trust me, it is very hard to find like the 3DS games than you might think. Trust me, I'm working on trying to find I'm trying to find the remaining last 2 games of the Mario Luigi series. I got Paper Jam and Dream Team, so I'm just 2 more left. Now you're probably thinking, wait, did I get Superstar? Well, Superstar is on the Nintendo Online expansion pack. I'm not that worried. So if I want to play that game, I got it there. And if I ever say I want to do a game for an anniversary, or like, hey, I want to celebrate how long I've been focusing on like doing, videos on, I would do Kingdom Hearts as like my big anniversary game, because that is a game series that really says who I am. Because I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan, I like RPGs like Persona, Tales, the Tales of series. I am also branching out to other games, like keep an eye out, because I'm actually going to hopefully have other games I want to cover soon. So you never know. And I always want to just keep branched out to new games, because to me, I want to keep branching out to other games to play, because I want to keep up having a more variety. With Phil, he hasn't really changed the variety. He chases day 1 views, he chases new games, but he also skips games and avoids them. So that's what really makes Chrono Trigger bad, and now I kind of get to talk about more. I actually found a way to talk about a lot without talking a lot. So he comes with Chrono Trigger, and he had this whole drama over this mini PC. It's not powerful enough. It seems like it's gonna not get used after he plays Chrono Trigger. So basically, he said it doesn't happen. He says all this nonsense without even like looking it up and stuff like that. But it really does show that Phil is not this notable part of technology, and it really does show. But I have not watched his Chrono Trigger playthrough, because, well, it is terrible. No one asks for it, and it really does show. And then he tried to do his voice acting, what he thinks is good, but he just reads with no real emotion or reflection, and sometimes go into stereotypes, which he did for like Pokemon Scarlet and Mamona. Ugh, that was terrible. Like, that was one of the worst, and I really am afraid to see how bad that goes. But it definitely feels like it's gonna take a while to finish that game. But yes, given this to Phil, who seems to just doesn't want to do side content anymore. He doesn't want to do any type of content that will make his playthrough interesting. He rushes games without trying to rush games now. So now we come to the second game he said that he would do an anniversary, and that was Grand Theft Auto 5. And again, you ask yourself, wait, Phil has replayed every single Grand Theft Auto game. Some of them twice, or 3 times. So why is he playing Grand Theft Auto again? There's like a lot of games he could have played. He could have even picked up games he missed out and played them for his anniversary. Well, this Phil is just low effort and just maximum profit. But this is kind of where Phil is just doing a bad job of giving people what they want. So he's playing GTA 5. I think he's finishing it up now. And this was also going on at the same time as he was finishing up Final Fantasy 16. I think he started he was playing. Was he playing Borders Gate 3? No, he's playing Diablo 4. He was playing Diablo 4. And it was definitely like he did like Phil. is showing not only he's so bad at these types of games, is that he's very slow at them. And this is kind of where Phil is when you have to ask yourself, no one asked for this, please playthroughs, and you can tell that they're not as supported as, let's say, maybe when Phil probably was playing these games, he had some bits of support, but we definitely seen the support going to dwindle. And now let's go into, these are 2 games he picked. He didn't play anything else. He didn't add any other games outside of 3.6, and he didn't went. Oh, and I haven't even talked about the whole, like, he went and bought another copy of the game, the PS5 version, but buys another fight stick for $300, and yet none of this money goes to Jasper or fixing up his house and maybe his internet. Yeah, this really does show that Phil has all this money, but it's a waste. He cares more about his quote-unquote business than his house. He cares more about this as his anniversary and not maybe his own wife's. He probably didn't care about his own birthday, and we'll see how that goes. Let's remember, Phil was such a Karen over a sandwich compared to maybe her wife's birthday. Like, what kind of person takes someone to Burger King on their birthday? Or still doesn't make no sense on that one. But these were his games he picked, and again, these were not boring. You don't shape what defines a anniversary, and this definitely just says Phil was not playing this out well enough. Maybe if Phil had, had this planned out in advance, like say, okay, I'm going to play this game in the summer. I will play this game in August. If there are not a lot of games that I can play out, I don't do this. But it definitely felt like Phil kind of last minute these picks and no one wanted them. Like, if Phil had planned out to go do Chrono Trigger, I think he was saying he wanted to play Chrono Trigger, maybe. But this is definitely the fact that Phil is going to waste an opportunity of playing other games on that mini PC that's going to get shelved. It's going to basically be in his closet, molding with everything else, because we know Phil would like he has not cleaned that closet. I mean, I'm not one to judge. I don't clean mine very well. But regardless, this is definitely 2 games that no one asked for. But really, before I go into the event, this has definitely been his worst month. I think we are definitely seeing that his fans had enough. I think that we had the Dutch Brothers, which this is a side load. We'll call it the side story. So the Dutch Brothers left, and definitely feels like there's going to be another case. There's going to be another mouse. There's going to be another someone who say they're going to they reveal information, then they say they left, and they'll go back to Phil. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. But if you want to see the whole interview, I will have King Sly T, his video on that. So I will have that link in the description, so check that one out. So shout out to him, big ups. Also, I will have links to that being said. I will link you some of their episodes in August, as I do cover a lot of what I missed out on this month. So anything I missed out on, I will link you in the description. That being said, again, big ups to them. I also sometimes send some pretty good questions for the month. So if you want to hear like my opinion of something or my opinion, I do go there. So what really happened this month? I can't be for certain anything I missed. Oh yeah, Jasper. So Phil, I think it was this month, or at least at the end of July, Phil had this whole blood work kind of upselling nonsense. This was basically the emergency stream part 2.0 back with a vengeance that he had with Liana. And it definitely feels like Phil does not rather spend money on himself and others than his own pet and his own wife. But I also feel like there's definitely some lies that is going on with the story that we're not 100% certain. But for now, I think I don't. To go into a long story short, I do not believe what he said is completely true and factual. So for now, let's not take Phil and his whole story about the upselling and the emergency vet pet thing and what happened the day off as fact, and still like to exaggerate everything to make it seem like his life is terrible. So don't go into like saying, okay, Phil is right or wrong about this. But regardless, let's talk about the event a little bit, as kind of the event was bad. So, as you could notice here, Phil has been trying to do his react stuff, and honestly, it was Phil. But what did Phil do? He does this what he did with his retrospectives, just watching back his old content, and expect people to watch it. But Phil does what he always does, and he talks over, tries to retcon anything, and when it came to like showing Leanna, Phil would skip over that video because, you know, he can't face his own ex, because we all know how he treated her. We know that he treated her badly. We know how everything happened. Phil cannot look that woman in the eye after what he's done to her. And Phil will basically lie about everything, but it's safe to say Phil can't look Leanna in the eye for what he's done to her. Like, he took her away from her family, he basically tried to groom her, and then when she basically had common sense and basically, like, took shots at him, Phil basically was more afraid to not even talk to that woman. And then when she was an inconvenience to him, she aired him out. And that is kind of sad when you think about it. And that is kind of where you realize, man, this is definitely how this event. This was so. Of course, you know, Phil hyped up this event like it's gonna like, oh, my wife is gonna cook a big spread of food, make it sound like she's cooking like a goddamn like for many people, but just for him. And the food he had, it was basically sides but no entrees. So he had sliders, so sliders, I think chicken. He apparently made. He made him baked beans, which like it from the can, which is not a big deal, not like a big deal breaker. We all eat baked beans. Yep, we all eat baked beans from cans. There's nothing wrong with that. And let's see, their mashed potato, it was very like dry and doesn't really like a flavor to them. And also corn on the cob, which is likely from a either bot or he made it, or that is from a, what's the word? I'm trying to think top of my head. Oh, it was from. He probably was made from box. So whether it's from scratch. This is definitely, well, Phil has always been trying to basically eat on camera, and you can always tell Phil's likely in pain when he eats. And it definitely feels like how dry and like bad a lot of food he has on camera he holds up. And you know, Phil always looks so like feeble, not feeble, like he always holds up food, or he kind of he's so it's like weak. So this is kind of where I always say that I'm on hashtag Team Divorce, because I think Phil had Kat to basically be this big life changer, to like, cook and clean for him, but either Kat has left him or Kat has just really became more like lazy, and it's more showing. But that was the event. That was his big event, and he only got close to like 350 plus, but he said it was a success, but it was not. And this was definitely one of the, like, we're starting to see not his fans are not happy for like half of the events he puts out, and we're seeing someone who's not realizing you are doing a bad job of giving people what they want. Accept it. So that was Phil's event. That was a thing he hyped up, and it was terrible. Just rewatching his stuff, him retconning everything, eating up food, and then this is him basically. He's basically having people, hey, you give me $100, I'm gonna take a shot, and he was doing a bad job of that. Someone who says the former alcoholic was drinking on stream. It really has shown that the days of Phil basically being or doing anything that actually had something of effort is long gone. Phil wants to say he has success. Phil wants to say that that it was a successful stream, but it definitely he knows for a fact that it was bad. Phil no longer has the days where he may have had a lot of support to his channel. We're seeing someone who is not realizing they have no support anymore. Phil is not realizing that this was a terrible month for him. I think it's definitely seeing how much losing people like the fact that he now lost Game Tracker. He's lost a lot of that money support. And to say that OIC, with something going on with them, it's hard to say. But we should probably keep our eyes out, because if OIC is trying to take the reins to be the only supporter of Phil, we should probably keep an eye out, because we know what happens when people wants to be the only person. We should keep an eye on them. We also need to start wondering about how long Phil's support is going to last. I think it's simply Phil seeing a decline. Phil can say that we are worse than the SOK, that the SOK was better, but it's coping the fact that Phil never did anything when the SOK was around, sadly. He never did anything when they were around. He basically fear-mongered himself that they didn't matter, but they did. He's doing a bad job of keeping support to his content. Phil is not going to realize he is losing more supporters. He's hemorrhaging 2 dead channels. He does not have a dedicated viewer base. He doesn't have anything but to basically say he thinks his channel matters. He doesn't realize how much he's failing at this content he's trying to give out. Phil is not seeing the fact that he's not successful. He tries to hold the fact that he's been in content creator 15 years. He gives us the same story over and over again. The problem is, Phil is not doing anything to give people what they want. Nobody wants to hear about this how he got here over and over. Nobody has time to hear this every day. Phil is not successful. Phil is basically living a life where he literally thinks his content is good. He is not going to just accept the fact that he does not have anything else. Look at his event that he typed up was very half-assed. It was very bad. The games he picked did not shape what he defies his content. He begged for money for all these items that he asked for, and it's a complete waste of time. His Street Fighter streams are becoming so samey that no one is caring about him anymore. He does not have the same impact that he did when people actually could laugh at this. The only reason I feel is relevant is that we keep him alive. He is not doing a good job of keeping a good viewer base. He's doing a bad job of doing that. And given that we are definitely seeing the Battlefield is also doing nothing to do with Derek. Like, Derek is a problem. He is a menace. He's a degenerate. His fans are also bad. Like, we are dealing with someone who definitely is going to be on a watch list, and he's not doing anything about it. And the problem is Phil not realizing his fans are a problem. Phil's content is, without a doubt, his own decline. He celebrated 15 years with someone who thinks that his content mattered. This was definitely a terrible event that Phil tried to hype up. It was basically all the same stuff, just trying to, and the fact that he decided to have it on his DSPreacts channel, the one that used to be his lost channel, it basically made less people who want to actually watch it. Phil should have had it on his main channel. Phil should have picked better games. Phil should have actually done a better job. But Phil half-assed it. This was minimum effort, maximum profit. Everything was meaning effort, not for profit. Phil having his usual nonsense on Twitter, on X, having his usual things his opinions matter. He basically tried to say that artists don't matter, and it really does show Phil thinks his opinion matters more. Phil is not realizing that his content is failing. He doesn't realize that nobody cares for his content the same way he thinks it does. Phil is not seeing that his content is not doing well anymore. The days of Phil can probably get a lot of views, does not know more anymore. Phil's success does not matter anymore. Phil is, to this day, just kept on by a few names. It only kept around by a few dents. He is not seeing the same support he does anymore. This 15 year he tried to celebrate with a giant cope, and Phil is just as 15 years of copism. So final thoughts, this anniversary was terrible, the games play was terrible, and games he's gonna play is gonna be bad, Armor Core looks like he's gonna get banned where he's trying to blame people for it, and I definitely think Phil is just gonna try to hype up Starfield because of the game. So for me, OpCorrect99, take care and peace out. Again, link in the description for all the videos I mentioned. Take care and have a good day. Bye!